Test, test. Testicles. Test, test. Test, test. Test, test. Test, test. 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 I'm gonna get it.
As the reason why she's ditching her Twitch exclusivity. I have a few things to show off, but before we get into the topic, if you enjoy the content,
she can't tell people she did it for the money, because she didn't get a contract. Like, she didn't do it for the money. That's true.
Check out the links in the description, follow me on social media, and consider supporting through Patreon or through YouTube memberships. Now, of course, instead of blaming herself for her pretty bad takes and them going viral and her facing backlash, she is saying it is everybody else's fault that sometimes she's highly criticized. This is a .esports article. It says Pokimane.
I do think that people like cross into the realm of harassment with Pokimane, and this is what happens with a lot of people. Is like, you do have, like, I have no problem with criticism, right? But like, let's not pretend that a lot of, like, you know, for me, like, for example, like the AI thing. Remember whenever I had like that, I said that thing about AI, and then everybody got mad at me? There were a lot of people in there that were not criticizing what I said. They're making fun of me as a person. They're like saying I'm ugly, or I'm stupid, or like, this is not really criticism. I think that you should be able to easily oh, there it is. Hey, there it is. You should be able to easily say that, like, a lot of the criticism that people get online is not really criticism. These are insults and hate. And there's no value to it. There's no advantage to having it. Now, I'm not saying they should get banned. I'm not saying, oh, you should get banned if you tweet that I'm stupid. No, I didn't say that. But, like, let's not pretend that it's all legitimate feedback and criticism, because it's not. I would say that that is the minority, even. With anyone. Not just Pokimane, with anyone.
She will stream for the first time on YouTube, reconfirming that she has not re-signed an exclusivity deal with Twitch and is free to stream wherever she likes. Now, of course, as a content creator myself on YouTube, I think that YouTube is a pretty good platform. I personally wouldn't want to deal with Twitch and the fact that they are constantly not actually giving platforms a stable environment, and 1 minute you might be their favorite, then the next minute they might hate you, they might ban you, and then of course they change.
Twitch is super inconsistent with bans. They are crazy fucking inconsistent with bans. I saw this the other day. Look at this.
Yeah, I've seen this one.
How bad Mr. Beast is? Mr. Beast is bad? Oh shit! So he put out a tweet today. He said, one of the funniest videos we've done in a while, go watch. And it's Mr. Beast. Look who you got there, right? You got Speed, Kai, Gideon. I don't know any of these guys. That's Logan Paul. It's Chandler, Carl, Jake. I don't know any of the other guys. He's posting, and he's not even, bro. The allegations. We haven't forgotten, Jimmy. Forgotten about what? Forgot. What do you mean? Forgot about what? We didn't forget what you did, little bro. Really? I think. What do you mean? What's he talking about? I forgot. Fake chair? No. He wouldn't have done that. No. What are you talking about? That's crazy.
I want to. So did you see the Mr. Beast thing where he rented out the theater to
Yes, this
eat
is
his
so funny.
Lunchables and watch the Talk Tour podcast?
What a fucking idiot.
Do you know Talk Tour? Do you know the Talk Tour girl?
Yeah, I know. Gotta give me that hot.
What do you think about Mr. Beast's generational fall off?
What do you think first? Well, I mean, anyone that thinks Mr.
I
Beast.
don't know if people are saying it's a fall off. Like, I'm not sure really if it's a fall off. I honestly, like, my perspective on this is that I think that a lot of people are kind of fed up. It is, but like, who's mad? Like a few people on Twitter. Who cares? Like, just being honest. Like, it doesn't matter. Like, that never make matter. Yes, numbers don't agree with this fall off. Yeah, bro. Like, he's still doing well.
This is about anything other than making himself the richest YouTuber in the world.
There you go. There you go.
He's missed something.
Oh, big money.
I've met his manager, Reed,
Yeah.
2 years ago. I had a
he
video
changed
call.
now, he
He's
changed
left
now,
him.
yeah.
Under his manager, Reed, a year or two ago.
Yeah.
He was nice enough, but they were very much like, how can you make us more money? And I was like, I mean, I like to make videos that are fun and educational. I'm like, yeah, but money.
I feel like they're a company. I mean, it's not bad to try to make money, is it? I feel like this. I don't like the virtue signaling that a lot of content creators do about how they don't care about money. I don't like it because I think that it's inauthentic and it's not true. A lot of people care about money. You do it? No, I don't. No, I don't. I say all the time I like making money. I take sponsors all the time. Of course I make money. Like, I don't live like that. It's not a big deal to me. I don't really care. But like, it's very easy to say that you don't care about money when you have money. Like, of course, yes, it's easy to say that you're above it when you are. you spawn above it. Like, am I crazy? Like, I find it to be annoying. That's why I say every time that I tell people that I don't take donations or something like that, I always say, and I'm not doing this for a moral reason. I think it's virtue signaling. I do.
We care about, and that day after the call with Reed, I was going surfing with Felix.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, I'm actually going to see Felix in a minute. And they were like, we want to have Mr. Beast, Jimmy come over, and we're going to have this we want to do like a handoff where like, from one YouTuber to the next, to the top of their game. And I was like, this just sounds the most pretentious fucking shit I've ever heard.
So he's actually bringing up a really good point here, and I think this is a problem that I think Mr. Beast has. So this happens to a lot of orgs and companies, is that when a company gets really big, what ends up happening is that they start employing people that are too disconnected from the grassroots appeal of the content, and then they look at it from like a business perspective, and they don't have the eye for content. Like, anybody can see, like, if like as a fan, as a viewer, like, I can see how this is really weird and corpa, right? It's like this like weird, like, these are the people that would be telling him that he should make an NFT line in 2021, right? It's a huge fucking problem. And with this, I completely agree with him on. It's absolutely fucking soulless. And this is what happens when you bring in people that are part of an environment that did not share the success of growing that environment. That's what happens.
Oh yeah, great. And like,
Feels weird,
Felix
yeah.
wants
It's
that.
unironically
Come on over
corpa. Yeah.
and just, hand some sort of weird trophy or something. I mean,
Somebody says apply that to any small business that scales. I think that you're totally right. You're absolutely right. And I think that for leadership, it's so obvious when you have people that aren't involved and people that are involved. Like, I think that the best example that I can think of right now is with Twitch. Think about how involved Dan Clancy is with the community and how much he's actively interfacing with the community, and he's actively streaming himself, and then compare that to Emmett Shear before him. He's doing nothing. It's because people are getting down and they understand what matters.
Very lame. I remember talking to Felix. I was like, this is so lame.
I mean,
Is this all YouTube is now?
Yeah.
Is it all just money?
yeah,
Is that?
mostly, yeah, mostly.
And then he teamed up. He teamed up with Logan
Yeah,
Paul.
it's always easy to say that it's only about money whenever you have money. Of course, people want to be able to make money on YouTube. Obviously, they want to be able to make money on YouTube because they want to be able to support themselves. This is not a bad thing. This is okay. It's fine to try to make money. I don't like this idea that I think it's pretentious, where we're supposed to like get down on people for trying to make money, and it's always people that are doing it who already have money. I find it to be off-putting. It's my opinion. At what's cost though? What they're making a cringy video. Like, who cares? Like
I tell you what you need to know. Literally,
Yeah.
he teamed up with Logan Paul, the biggest. Can I say the C word?
Yeah.
Cunt.
Biggest fucking cunt there is, right? I mean, everybody
Yeah.
seems to have forgotten what a massive cunt Logan Paul is.
Well, I don't.
He is,
I mean, that,
right?
it's back,
If he's
it's
not
back,
filming
it's back.
He
somebody who's recently taken their own life, literally from a tree in the forest
Yeah.
and making it about themselves, somebody who has exploited their viewers through cryptocurrency scams.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
You know, you shouldn't be
forgot
partnering
all
with these
about
sort of
that.
people.
Yeah, it is an odd choice.
but I
He does
bet-
seem to like love Logan a lot, and business-wise.
But you and I know behind the scenes,
Yeah.
you know, heard bad things about Mr. Beast for years.
Yeah, you hear rumors. I've heard a lot of rumors.
Yeah,
But,
right?
like nothing that's like substantial. It's just
No.
more like.
And I don't think he's like he's pure evil or anything like that.
No.
I just think people need to look past the philanthropy, which is solely designed for his own benefit. It's a kind of what it's kind of like it's
I
incredible.
think that a lot of people do philanthropy for their own benefit. And I think that, like, I don't really know about these guys, but I'm not sure. I think a lot of people write off philanthropy on their taxes. People obviously raise money and do things for charity so they can make their image look better. That's obvious. Of course people do that. The only time that it's bad is when people do that to make up for bad behavior. So, like, if Mr. Beast kept doing it now, I would think that it's weird, because you're effectively trying to, like, make people think that you're a good person whenever you're, like, trying to rebuild your image. But I don't think that a lot of philanthropy that's done by content creators and influencers is authentic or is altruistic. I would say that, like, 95% of it isn't altruistic. And I feel like that's probably an understatement. But that doesn't make well, I don't think it's a bad thing. I think it's very judgmental. Everybody does it for benefit? Yeah, exactly.
whole defensive system where, you know, if you donate money and do some great things,
Yeah.
and he has done great things, we can't deny that. If you can use
Sure.
that really as a sort of deterrent for any criticism, then you're doing it for the wrong reason.
That's
the
true,
thing,
but I don't think he's done that, has he?
is it always feels like it's there as a barrier to stop any
Yeah.
criticism, and now that has stopped working because people have seen past that.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to say because like.
Well, the reason why it stopped working is because the criticism wasn't valid before. Like, the criticism that people had for Mr. Beast prior to this big controversy was stupid. That's the reason why it didn't work. It's not because of the anything else. It's because it was dumb controversy. It didn't make any sense. It's like the blind thing, right? Or like building the wells in Africa. That's the reason why the controversies were bad.
Philanthropy is always a tough one because obviously, at the end of the day, it's still good even if
Of course.
he's using it as a shield. You're like,
Yeah.
all right, well, he's still doing it.
Yeah,
you know?
it's still good, yeah,
but
sure.
It feels like it is being used as a tool in some senses, but it's so hard to distinguish when it is and it isn't, right? Because like even if it is, it's like, well, it's still a good thing.
Yeah,
It's
exactly.
hard to use that as a point like against him, but
I think it's easy to use it as a point against a person when a person is doing something bad, but they are actively also doing charity in order to use that as a shield for the thing that they're doing that's bad. Previously, Mr. Beast might have been doing that, but he wasn't doing it actively in the public eye, so the the effect is different. But I think that if you're using charity as like, oh, well, I'm doing these bad things, but I'm also doing charity, that doesn't really cancel it out. I feel like whenever you do that, it's pretty obvious that you're trying to manipulate people.
Like Jacksepticeye when he did the a comment years ago. It was about a year ago now, wasn't it?
Oh yeah.
A completely unrelated question. Do you like Mr. Beast?
Ooh, no.
Do you think Mr. Beast ruined YouTube? Yes. Why? Because it became more about views, money, and popularity than it did about having fun.
You know, and he was like, I hate.
I'm sorry. I think it is so pretentious. It is so crazy and pretentious to say that stuff. It is. It's so pretentious because, like, obviously it's about money and views. What are you talking about? Of course you're uploading videos for money and views. That's not a bad thing. It always has been like this. You say that, but it doesn't have to be. But it always is. And the people that are saying this are able to say it because they have the money and they have the views. So it's easy to go and demonize somebody else because they're in a position that you don't like for whatever reason. But the truth is that they do the same thing. Everybody does this. People are constantly doing things for money and views. It's not, he's doing this video for money and views. That's not a bad thing. I feel like the focus, and this is why I find it to be unhealthy. So basically, I think a huge problem with YouTube, and it's a huge problem with influencer culture in general, is that there is this illusion that's being created by influencers that you're their friend and that they're doing it for you and that they care about you, the individual viewer. And I think that this parasocial relationship is very unhealthy. And I think that it's unhealthy in both directions. And I think that saying things like that, what it does is it breeds that parasocial relationship. It's a marketing tactic, right? And to make them think that that's not what it is. I don't like that. I find it to be inauthentic, and I think that it's patronizing, and I think it's pretentious. You're uploading content for views. That's not a bad thing. The videos are monetized. That's also not a bad thing. Stop trying to act like you're doing it for the people and you care about them. You can also care about them, sure. But doing it for money isn't a bad thing. You're right, and for the most part I agree with you, but you don't know him. Jacksepticeye means that.
3, 4, 5.
When you have 20 million
1,
subs and you're a multi-millionaire.
2.
That's
3.
my whole point. It's so easy to say this when you're in a amazing position that nobody else hardly is ever in. Self-care, yeah, I don't know. Most of your streamers are no more background news for other people, yeah. Kind of because you can apply that logic to any business, yeah. Stop trying to invalidate genuine opinions because you think it's pretentious. I don't think that it's pretentious, I think that it's hypocritical. And I think that everybody that's uploading content onto YouTube is doing it for money and views. And I think that people constantly try to pull the ladder up on other people that are doing it in ways that they don't find acceptable based off of personal criteria that is most of the time subjective. It might be a genuine opinion, but I think that that genuine opinion is informed by...
I didn't got there yet. It's still pretty low leveled. How's it now? Test, test. Test.
By not having to need that in the first place. Today, yes, not before necessarily.
4,
Come on. It's subjectively wrong. All of them.
5.
It's one hell of an accusation. Yes, of course people upload
1.
content for money. Please do not fall for the idea that people are uploading content onto YouTube because they love you. This is their job. They are an LLC. This is it's so fucking sad to see this happen. It's so sad. It's not bad to upload content and to make content for money. And I find it pretentious and annoying when there are people who are multimillionaires for uploading content for money who are trying to demonize other people who upload content for money. I think it's pretentious, it's patronizing, it's annoying, it's disingenuous, and it forms parasocial behavior bonds that I think are unhealthy. I'm sorry. Depends on the content? No, it doesn't.
How YouTube's about this, that, and then
Yeah.
Mr. Beast went off on one, and they had to sort of apologise. But deep down, you know, Jack, that's what he really thinks. And recently, with recent events,
He's so mature and so chill. He was just like, I just don't want to deal with this. This is not what I wanted it to be.
and you can
But
tell.
it's aged well. The clip's aged well.
Say very well, you know. But anyway, yeah, and there's other things I can talk about this. Things
Yeah.
I've seen, heard, read behind the scenes.
I-
Yeah, that's
I-
my thoughts on it. I've been waiting to say things a long time about that.
A good rule of thumb is that if you see a creator who seems like they have a lot of friends and they hang out with a lot of people, they're normally a bit more well adjusted. I think. There's a certain group of people or creators that you interact with and you're like, makes a lot of sense now why people didn't really hang out with them much.
This part is true. However, Mr. Beast has a group of friends, right? It's rotating. Yeah, no, I actually think this is a good point Connor's making. Yeah, very true. Yeah, if nobody wants to be around you,
EA logos on game covers or in magazines, knowing that they are a sign of...
Now, a guy yesterday came into my stream and he says, I want you to watch my video. And I said, okay, if you want me to watch your video, post it on Reddit, and I will watch it if people upvote it. People did upvote it. Here's the video.
Hey everyone, welcome to my very first ever YouTube video. I'm wanting to give a perspective of how I see the current state of modern gaming as a casual gaming enthusiast. Just to introduce myself, I'm a married man with a full-time job, and I'm dedicated to a lot of various other commitments in my life. While gaming is definitely my favorite hobby, I don't always have the time to enjoy it. There are times when I'll go weeks without touching a game, and then there are stretches where I can squeeze in maybe a few hours every day. This is the reality for many of us, trying to balance work, life, and the hobby we love, gaming, as a regular...
I think that's one of the big issues that casual gamers have, is that a lot of times they can't play regularly every day, but a lot of games are built around like a daily reward structure. So like for a guy like this where, you know, like let's say Tuesdays he has to take his kids somewhere or whatever, so he has like just way less time. Like now he's basically systematically getting farther behind every single week because of the way that the daily rewards for the game are. It's called having a life. Well, what I'm saying is that, like, so the way that the rewards in certain games are structured is that they're structured in a way to like front load the reward for logging on every day, right? There's like login rewards, you know, a daily like little battle pass bar that you fill up, something like that. And like, oh, your first mission of the day gets you 400% experience, something like this, right? And so I think for a lot of guys like this, they get put in this position and they're kind of stuck, right? Yeah, just don't play that shit. Exactly.
Everyday guy.
A lot of games are structured for people with no life. Well, it's more that not only are they structured with people, structured for people with no life, they're structured for people that have a consistent schedule. Because the games are designed around playing them regularly, but life isn't designed around playing video games regularly. So you have these massive problems. I think he brings up a good point.
Not one of those hardcore streamers or YouTubers who could dedicate countless hours year-round to gaming, but I do enjoy watching other content creators who live and breathe this stuff.
I'm glued to a chair!
That's not quite my reality though, and I know I'm not alone in this. So in this video, I want to represent the casual gamers out there, people like me who balance a love for gaming with everything else going on in their lives. I hope to give a balanced view on controversial perspectives, and also hope I could shed some light on what I think are very important topics that can impact the future of gaming. Alright, first things first, and this is the breaking point that finally pushed me to make this video. I want to dive into the current state of AAA gaming.
You were the chosen one!
If you do a quick Google search, you'll find that AAA games are defined as high-budget, high-profile titles, typically produced and distributed by major, well-known publishers. But
I feel like it's kind of like this weird, like, bell curve now that I feel, where it's like, so this is like the quality, and this is the studio, where it's like indie, this is like indie, like super indie, this is like indie, this is A, double A, there's a lot of A's here. But like, I unironically think that the quality for games is like this. Am I crazy? It's almost like these like mid-level studios, I feel like, are able to produce a better game at a much higher ratio.
Me, as someone in my mid-20s,
it's like a standard
who
deviation,
grew up
exactly.
playing some truly incredible games from these big developers, AAA used to mean something more. It stood for trust,
used to mean
originality, and most importantly, innovation. I think back to 2007 when I went on a Christmas holiday with my family in South Africa. I very quickly discovered Assassin's Creed and Call of Duty Modern Warfare at a local games shop. I was completely hooked. It probably wasn't the best for me as I was 9 years old at the time, but I fell in love with these games. While most kids will want to spend their summer vacation outside having fun, all I wanted to do was stay inside and play these amazing titles on my dad's MacBook, which he had installed Windows on just so I could play. Those games weren't just entertainment, they were groundbreaking. From that point on, I had complete trust in AAA developers and publishers, and rightfully so. I'd even look
it's also that like you need to have that trust because those were the most expensive games. See, like they kind of standardized everything by the time that like PS2 and especially by PS3, by the time that came out, pretty much all games were the same price. But back in the day, like N64 era and like Super Nintendo era, there is a massive like gradation of like what games cost. Like some games would be $20, other games would be like $70. So these AAA games were really expensive back then, and I think that's kind of how it was built up with this expectation. And even now I think that's true. Like Helldivers